Today is November 21st, 2024, and it's interesting to see what's going on in the world already. Let's check it out. So, in response to Ukraine using American-made technology inside Russia, Russia has now launched a non-nuclear ICBM against Ukraine for the first time this war. Now, they launched it in Kiev, which is the capital of Ukraine. So things are escalating. It's good to know that Russia redid their nuclear program, or they basically redrew the red lines as far as what allows them to use a nuclear weapon. They just recently did that. And one of the things that they changed in that program was that they are now allowed to use nuclear weapons if a non-nuclear state is being helped by a nuclear state. America is a nuclear state. Ukraine is not. And so in this case, because America is helping Ukraine, from Russia's point of view, now this gives them the option to use nuclear weapons. Because an attack from Ukraine with the help of America or from a nuclear state is as if both of them are attacking Russia. Now, this is happening mainly because, Russia is, tracking what's going on, and Russia knows that it's NATO who is basically coming against Russia because America is part of NATO, and so it's not just Ukraine fighting Russia, it's NATO essentially fighting Russia, and they know that, which is why they redid their nuclear program that allows them to use nuclear weapons. And what's so interesting about this entire thing is that you see here it says that Putin is open to discussing a ceasefire with Ukraine if negotiations are led by Donald Trump. That's interesting. Here is something that Russia's foreign minister said about Trump. Trump said he's the president of peace, not the president of war. And why that is so interesting is because of the possibility of peace. If you're paying attention and you know what's going on in the world, you know that there's coming a day where people are going to say peace and safety. But in order for people to feel obligated to say peace and safety, there first needs to be the option of chaos on the table. Because if everybody's living in a perfect, peaceful world, they're never going to say peace and safety. No, there needs to be chaos. And right now, what you're seeing in the world, no matter where you look, you are seeing absolute chaos. And so now people will be more encouraged to say peace and safety. And on top of the nuclear threat that seems to be ever approaching, Russia begins mass production of nuclear-resistant bomb shelters. It's almost as if they are planning for it to happen, or maybe, who knows what they're actually thinking, but maybe they know something we don't know. But it does seem that the word nuclear is being thrown around more than ever before, and that is something to pay attention to. Here's that little article about their new nuclear doctrine, and it says Russia's new nuclear doctrine means NATO missiles fired against our country could be deemed an attack by the bloc, which is NATO, by the bloc on Russia. And Russia could respond with weapons of mass destruction, which would ultimately start World War III if you believe that has not already started yet. Some would argue that it's been going on for a while. You can be the judge of that, but I'm just saying it is interesting to see how all this stuff is happening quickly. And this is one of the reasons why I like this verse so much. It says, "So teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom." This verse really is something that we should marinate in a little bit, because when we remember that our days are limited, then all of a sudden you start living for what actually matters. You stop caring about the materialistic things and you start focusing on the everlasting things. And that's where it is difficult to do, but it is doable. And so we need to remember that our next minute is not promised. And when we remember that, we are going to start living differently, because we will recognize that one day we're going to stand before the Lord, whether in one capacity or another. It's either going to be before the judgment seat of Christ or the great white throne. And I hope you will be standing before the judgment seat of Christ. But we need to do what we can while we still have breath in our lungs, and we need to glorify God in everything that we say and do, and tell people about Jesus, because that is the coolest thing ever. That Jesus died according to the scriptures, that he was buried, and that he rose again on the third day according to the scriptures. Hope this helps.